My name is Maxim Astak. For my Desert Island Disc assignment, the topic that I chose to focus on are books. I've been a big reader all my life. I love reading all kinds of books, novels, fiction, nonfiction. Recently, I've really been into reading self-improvement books. It's been my cup of tea recently. Alright, so let's get started. So I am stuck on this island. What 8 books will I take with me? It's a good question. I'm prepared. Book number 1. The book is called 24/6. It is by Tiffany Shlain. Tiffany Shlain is one of my favorite authors. The way she writes, I really like her style. This is actually a self-improvement book, which I started reading a couple months ago. Have reread it a bunch. The book is about the effects of technology on the brain and how humans are biologically not designed to be on our screens so much. Tiffany really stresses the importance of taking occasional breaks from screen time and having days where you completely unplug at all. This will help the brain a ton, rebalance your brain chemistry, and it will benefit you in all aspects of your life. Highly recommend reading this book. I love it so much. I took a bunch of notes from before when I read it. So yeah, the main summary of this book would be to unplug from technology, let your brain recharge at least once a week, hence the title 24/6, right? And being on the island would give me a bunch of opportunity to take a break from technology, be with myself, meditate, and find peace, find balance. Alright, so for my next book, this book is called The Science of Sleep. This is by Nick Littlehales. He is an elite sports sleep coach, so he specializes with dealing with athletes, their recovery, and a huge component of recovery is sleep. I myself play a lot of sports, and I noticed that after a tough training day, I could eat all the food I want. I could massage, foam roll, hot bath, stretch. That's all great and all, but the most important thing for recovery is sleep. And for overall health, sleep is incredibly important. So here he talks about how important naps are, how to recharge your body and mind through sleep, how to build a proper sleep schedule, which is super important. Our bodies like habits. We love habits, and that is for everything. And sleep is not an exception. So he talks about how to refix your sleep schedule, which is super important, and the myth of 8 hours. When it comes to sleep, it's not about the quantity as much as it is about the quality, right? So he talks about that. He talks about the science about it, and then he finally takes it back to how you could implement these strategies into your own life. So being on that island without the screen time, I'm sure I would get a bunch of sleep. It would be great for your body, great for your mind, great opportunity to recharge and recover on some much needed sleep. Amazing book. All right, book number 3. It is called High Bottom Drunk. It's by Charles Rupert. He has a PhD in medicine. His specific field, which he has developed his studies to, is addiction, especially alcohol addiction, drug addiction, and how to recover from it. So personally myself, I do not use any of those substances, but I know a lot of people that do, and a lot of people whose lives have been negatively impacted through alcohol and drugs of all sorts. So he talks about the truth of addiction recovery, how to help others that are dealing with these issues. I've learned a lot from it. And the interesting about this book is in one chapter he says the scientific data behind the addiction and all that, and in another chapter it's sort of a novel, so it's a real life story of someone, and every chapter he switches between the science and a real life story of a person. At the end, the science and the person they meet, the person breaks his addictions. Very interesting book, self-help and a novel book. Amazing. Really love this book. And yeah, on the island, like I said, being all alone. I love reading, so might as well learn a little bit. Okay, that's 3 books so far. Book number 4, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I'm currently reading this book right now. I'm a good 3/4 through, but I have to say this was by far one of my favorite books I've read in my life. So David Goggins, as you can see in the back, he used to be not the best version of himself. He was raised in poverty. He had a lot of racial injustice dealt his way in a bad neighborhood. And he also suffered with substance addiction. And after high school, when everything looked terrible for him, he managed through mental toughness, willpower, he managed to retrain his mind, and the mind, the most powerful weapon. He got that sharp, and then he worked really, really hard, became a Navy SEAL, went through all that training, and now he lives a successful life, and he keeps going at it, runs ultra marathons every month, 100-mile runs through the jungle. It's ridiculous. But yeah, this man went from a nobody to one of the most influential motivational speakers in the world. Very interesting book. Actually, in his book, he talks about when he was stranded on an island for Navy SEAL training, right? On a search and rescue hostage mission. And he talks about how he spent 2 weeks there. So, I learned a lot from this book, how to deal with adversity and what to do if you're stuck on an island like I am. Alright, that's 4 books. Book number 5, Talent is Overrated by Jeff Colvin. So this book breaks the myth that talent is everything. He talks about how success is nurtured versus born. So a lot of people, although it's true that some people are born at a genetic advantage at a certain trait or skill, he says that hard work is by far superior to any talent in any field. So here he talks about the science of 10,000 hour training method, how long it takes to ingrain a certain skill into your mind and build muscle memory, whether that's academic or athletic. And I take pride in both academic and athletic. So this is a very good book. Helped me a lot. This is also a self-help book. Been reading a lot of those lately. Yeah, it's a great book. It would definitely help me being on the island, have to learn a couple new skills every day to survive. Here he talks about how the brain is capable of so much, and he gave, which I really appreciate, the last chapter he gave some life hacks, how to learn a skill quicker. So very interesting book. So that's 5 books. We got 3 more to go. Alrighty, so we got the TB12 method. It's by Tom Brady, one of the greatest American football players of all time. He co-authored this book, and it's about how he sustained his performance throughout his career. He's currently 43, which is an unheard of age in professional contact sports. And he, this year, about a couple days ago, just won the Super Bowl. So he talks about how he maintains his body both mentally and physically. So many people think that sports is just physical, when in reality a lot of it's in your mind, dealing with emotions, dealing with failure. A good quote by him is, never get too high during your wins and never too low for your losses. So he preaches staying well balanced and calm throughout. So here he talks about, like I said, how he dealt mentally and emotionally and physically through all his challenges over his long career. This will really help me in that island when I'm stuck by myself, how to deal with all those emotions in my head. Will I ever see my family again? Blah, 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 blah. In general, yeah, this book taught me a lot about mental strength, toughness, how to stay calm, composed. Tom Brady, it's my guy. All right, 2 more books to go. So for this last book, actually for the second last book, I really love records and all that. I love seeing what people in all sorts of different fields can accomplish, which is why I chose the Guinness World Record book of 2019. So, like I said, got so much free time on the island, stuck. Who knows when I'm gonna get rescued? So might as well just read all the interesting things humanity has come to. So there's a bunch of cool things. One thing was there's this man called Eddie Hall, deadlifted over a ton, which is unheard of. One of the strongest men to ever live. So many interesting things in this book. All right, so last book. So for this last one, I got this when I was very young. I think I was about in the 2nd grade. That's when I first started reading novels. And I always loved the Percy Jackson comic book, but this was my first Percy Jackson novel book. It's called Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. Okay, so this book, really helpful. Just taking my mind off the struggle of living on the island by myself. Very interesting. So that wraps up my 8 books. So the entire island has flooded. And I could only take one item with me. One of the books. Which one do I take? It's a tough question. I say I take I have to go with the David Goggins book, Can't Hurt Me. Very motivational, like I said, came through a lot of adversity. Still reading it, so I want to finish that book. But I love it. Yeah, this is definitely the book I'll take. Really helped me in my life currently. He has this one rule, it's called the 40% rule. So when your brain is telling you you're done, you can't take a step more, you can't do any more, you're actually only 40% done. So the brain has a biological limit set in, and it's necessary for survival. Like humans can't be going 100% every time or else they'll die, right? So our human brain puts a cap on our performance. He teaches you how to unleash an extra 5%, extra 10, 15, 20, to the point where you're so much superior to a competition, right? Whether that's actually other people or your brain yourself. And then with that extra percentage of effort, how much more can you accomplish? So yeah, I really love this book. This man is very motivational. All right. So I am given a copy of Shakespeare. Plane flew by, dropped me a copy of a Shakespeare book. What do I do with it? So, about English literature and that in general, I've read some of it in class, but I've never really been a huge fan of it. I would love to learn more. I'm an open reader. I read whatever I get. If I got a Shakespeare book, I'll definitely read it, definitely try it out. I know it has some funky words in it, but I would definitely try it out. I'm open to everything, so whichever opportunity comes my way, I'll go for it. Alright, guests are also given a copy of the Christian Bible. What do I do with it? Alright, so Christian Bible, got it right here. Got the New International Version. My favorite verse will probably be 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I find that really motivational, how to have no fear, right? Like, if you believe someone's watching over you. I believe someone's watching over me. And through that quote, I believe, like, I can do all things. I could try. I just need to try, right? Who knows what happens until you try? So I say, why live life in fear? I think it's a great book. Everyone has their own opinions, but I'm all for it. Holy Bible. All right. Finally, guests are allowed to bring one luxury object. What would it be? All right. So, like I mentioned, I'm a big reader. I already have all my books. The one item I would take. You know, I really been into journaling, so I'll probably get a journal with me. I really like writing down not just how I feel throughout the day, but I just like writing to take things off my mind. So if I ever have a full mind before I'm going to sleep or anything like that, just write down a couple notes, right? It just helps me relax, take it off my mind, right? It's like an escape. I really like it. I think it's helpful. Science also backs up journaling, shows up that it's very good for you. So yeah, I'll definitely take a journal. Hopefully a pencil as well. That would be pretty good, pretty necessary. All right, so that's it for my Desert Island Disc assignment. Thank you so much for watching. Really gave it my all, enjoyed this project, had a good time doing it, put a lot of detail into it. Yeah, that's a wrap. Thank you so much. Bye bye.